Be me, 26-year-old feminist back then. Sitting at coffee shop with my friend discussing her cousin's recent divorce. She's going on and on about how devastated the guy must be, how awful divorce is for men. Can't help but roll my eyes at her naivety. Decide it's time to educate her about the real world. Are you seriously buying into that sob story? I interrupt her mid-sentence. She stops talking and looks at me with confusion written all over her face. What do you mean? Divorce is literally the best thing that can happen to a man. They just pretend to be sad because society expects it. Lean forward in my chair, getting animated about this topic that I'm obviously passionate about. Have been thinking about this a lot lately, especially since Michael went through his divorce. Think about it logically. No more nagging wife telling them what to do every 5 minutes. No more honey-do lists. No more having to check in before making plans. My friend is listening, but still looks skeptical. But what about losing the house? The kids? Laugh at her concern because she's missing the bigger picture completely. They get to be the fun parent now. Show up every other weekend, take the kids to Disneyland, be the hero. Meanwhile, the ex-wife is stuck dealing with homework, bedtime tantrums, and all the boring daily grind. Take a long sip of my latte, feeling satisfied with my analysis. Plus, they're free to date whoever they want. No more being tied down to one person who stopped trying years ago. My friend is starting to nod along, beginning to see my point. I never really thought about it that way. That's because we're conditioned to feel sorry for them. But look at any divorced man after the initial shock wears off. They're out there living their best lives. Gesture broadly with my hands to emphasize the freedom aspect. My brother Michael just went through a divorce 3 months ago. I guarantee you he's probably out at bars every night, dating, finally able to do whatever he wants without asking permission. Friend seems convinced now, which feels like a victory. You're right. Men always land on their feet. Exactly. They act all broken-hearted for sympathy, but deep down they're celebrating. Finish my drink and check my phone, feeling proud of myself for opening her eyes to reality. I should probably visit Michael soon and see how he's adjusting to his new bachelor lifestyle. Few days later, scrolling through my social media feeds during lunch break, see another article shared about emotional labor in relationships. Perfect opportunity to share some wisdom with my followers. Type out a lengthy comment about how this is exactly why divorce benefits men more than women. Men never had to do the real emotional work in the first place, so when marriage ends, they're not actually losing anything meaningful. Meanwhile, women are left dealing with all the same responsibilities they always had, just without a partner. Post gets dozens of likes within the first hour. Feel validated seeing other women agreeing with my perspective in the replies. Decide this would be a good time to check up on Michael. Haven't actually seen him since the divorce was finalized. He's probably been avoiding family gatherings because he's too busy enjoying his newfound freedom. Or maybe he's embarrassed about how much happier he is now. Either way, it's been too long, and I should make sure he knows the family supports his decision. Grab my purse and car keys, deciding to surprise him with an impromptu visit. Curious to see what kind of upgrade he's made to his living situation. That house in the suburbs was always too family-oriented for a single guy. Probably got himself a nice downtown loft or trendy apartment with all the amenities. Maybe one of those places with a rooftop pool and fitness center. The kind of place where successful bachelors live. Driving through his old neighborhood just out of curiosity. Pass by the house where he used to live with his ex-wife and kids. Notice there's a different car in the driveway now. Makes sense that he sold it. Probably made a decent profit in this market. Good for him for not letting sentiment hold him back from making smart financial decisions. Now he can live somewhere that actually suits his lifestyle instead of being stuck in suburbia. Pull out my phone to GPS his new address that Mom gave me last week. Some apartment complex on the other side of town. Not the downtown area I was expecting, but maybe he wanted something quieter. Or maybe he's just being smart about saving money while he figures out his next move. Either way, I'm excited to see how he set up his new bachelor pad. Probably has it decorated exactly how he wants for the first time in years. No more compromise on furniture or wall colors or any of that domestic stuff. Pull into the parking lot of Mountain View Apartments. Have to drive around for a few minutes looking for Building B. Place is a bit older than I imagined, but maybe he's going for character over luxury. Or maybe he's just focused on location and amenities rather than having the newest building. Find his building and walk up the outdoor stairs to the second floor. Unit 203 is at the end of the hallway. Knock on the door and wait. Hear some shuffling around inside, but it takes a while for him to answer. When the door finally opens, Michael looks surprised to see me. "Samantha, what are you doing here?" He looks tired, but that's probably just from staying up late, enjoying his social life. "I was in the neighborhood and thought I'd stop by to see your new place." He hesitates at the doorway, not immediately inviting me in. It's not really set up for visitors yet. "Come on, Michael. I'm your sister. I don't care if it's messy." He reluctantly steps aside and lets me walk past him into the apartment. What I see immediately stops me in my tracks, standing in what can only be described as a studio apartment. Maybe 400 square feet total, if I'm being generous. There's a mattress on the floor in one corner with rumpled sheets. No bed frame, no headboard, just a mattress and pillow. In the center of the room, there's a card table with 2 folding chairs. Small television sitting on what looks like a milk crate against the far wall. That's literally all the furniture in the entire space. Kitchen area consists of a mini fridge, microwave, and hot plate on the counter. No dining table, no couch, no coffee table, no decorations of any kind. Bare white walls without a single picture or piece of art. This looks more like a temporary shelter than a home. "So this is nice," I say, trying to hide my shock. Michael closes the door behind me and doesn't respond. "When are you planning to get some real furniture?" This is what I can afford right now. Walk over to the kitchen area and open the refrigerator. Half a gallon of milk, some lunch meat, leftover pizza in a box, a few condiments. This is not the lifestyle upgrade I was expecting to see. "Where's all your stuff from the house?" He sits down heavily in one of the folding chairs. Had to sell most of it. "Why would you sell your furniture?" Needed the money. Sit down in the other folding chair, feeling confused and uncomfortable. "But you're doing okay financially, right? I mean, now that you don't have all those marriage expenses?" He lets out a laugh that doesn't sound happy at all. "Sam, do you know what I pay in child support and alimony every month?" Shake my head, because I never really thought about the specifics. 60% of my take-home pay. Try to process this information while looking around his sparse living space. But that still leaves you with 40%. That should be plenty for a single guy. 40% to cover rent, utilities, food, gas, insurance, and everything else. Starting to realize that my calculations might have been off. "What about the house? Didn't you get half when you sold it?" "The house went to secure the kids' future. They needed stability." Feel a sinking sensation in my stomach as my confident theories begin to crumble. Sit in uncomfortable silence for several minutes, trying to figure out what to say next without admitting I was completely wrong. Michael gets up and walks to the small window overlooking the parking lot. "You want something to drink? I've got water." "Sure." He opens a cabinet that's mostly empty except for a few mismatched glasses, fills one with tap water, and hands it to me. Notice his hands look rougher than I remember, like he's been doing manual labor. "Are you still working at the same company?" Yeah, same job, same pay. He sits back down and stares at his hands. Actually picked up some weekend work too, loading trucks at a warehouse. This doesn't fit the narrative I've been building in my head about his post-divorce life. Weekend work? But that's when you have the kids. I have them every other weekend. The off weekends I work. Do the math quickly in my head and realize he basically never has free time. When do you go out? Meet people? He looks at me like I just asked him when he plans to fly to Mars. Go out where? With what money? Get up and walk around the tiny space again, trying to make sense of everything. This is nothing like what I expected to find. But you're free now. No one telling you what to do. Free to work 70 hours a week so I can afford this place and still send money for the kids' school supplies. His voice is getting quieter, more tired. Michael, I had no idea it was this hard. Why would you? Nobody talks about this part. Feel heat rising in my cheeks as I realize how ignorant I've been. But surely it gets easier, once you adjust. He stands up and walks to the window again, not answering right away. Every morning, I wake up and remember that my kids are growing up without me there. Every night I go to bed knowing I missed another day of their lives. This conversation is making me deeply uncomfortable because it contradicts everything I've been saying. At least you don't have to deal with your ex-wife anymore. He turns around and looks at me with an expression I can't quite read. Sam, she wasn't the problem. We just grew apart. It happens. But all those arguments, the stress of marriage, what arguments? What stress? Realize I'm projecting things I've read online onto his actual experience. I just assumed, most couples. We were actually pretty happy most of the time. We just wanted different things in the end. This is getting worse by the minute. Everything I thought I knew about his situation is apparently wrong. So why did you get divorced then? She wanted to move closer to her family. I had a good job here. We tried to make it work, long distance, but trails off and shrugs. It wasn't anyone's fault, really. Feel like an idiot for all the confident proclamations I've been making. Do you miss her? Every day. His honesty hits me like a slap in the face. All this time, I've been talking about how happy divorced men are, and my own brother is miserable. Decide to change the subject before this gets even more awkward. How are the kids handling everything? His face immediately changes, becomes softer but sadder. They're doing okay, better than I expected actually. That's good. Yeah, kids are resilient. They've adjusted to the back and forth pretty well. He walks over to the milk crate where the TV sits and picks up a framed photo I hadn't noticed. Hands it to me without saying anything. It's a picture of him with two young kids at what looks like a park. They're all smiling and look genuinely happy together. They're beautiful. That was last month when I took them to the zoo. Study the photo more carefully and notice something. You look happy here. Those are the best days. When I have them, nothing else matters. Hand the photo back to him and he places it carefully back on the milk crate. But then they go home and... He doesn't finish the sentence, but I can fill in the blanks. The apartment suddenly feels even smaller and more depressing. Do they like coming here? They pretend to. Kids are good at that. Look around at the bare walls and single mattress on the floor. Can't imagine two children being comfortable in this space. Where do they sleep when they stay over? We make it work. Sleeping bags, air mattress sometimes. Feel a tightness in my chest that I wasn't expecting. Michael, this isn't what? Want to say it isn't fair, isn't right, isn't what I thought divorce looked like for men, but all of those admissions would require me to acknowledge how wrong I've been. Nothing. I'm just surprised, that's all. My phone buzzes with a text message. Glance at it and see it's from my friend asking how my thriving divorced brother is doing. The irony makes me feel sick to my stomach. Put the phone back in my purse without responding. I should probably get going soon. Let you get some rest. You don't have to leave. I don't get much company. The way he says it makes it clear that he's lonely. Really lonely. Not just casually single and loving it. Lonely. Are you dating anyone? He laughs, but there's no humor in it. With this lifestyle? Living like a college student at 32? There are plenty of women who wouldn't care about that. Maybe, but I'm not really in a place to offer anyone much right now. He gestures around the sparse apartment. Besides, most of my energy goes toward trying to be a good dad from a distance. Never considered that dating might be complicated for divorced men. Always assumed they were out there having the time of their lives with no responsibilities. What do you do for fun then? Read library books, watch Netflix, go for walks sometimes. This sounds like the life of someone who's depressed, not someone who's been liberated. That sounds kind of pathetic. I wasn't going to say that. It's okay, it kind of is. Uncomfortable silence settles over us again. Don't know how to respond to his honesty without admitting that everything I've been saying about divorce is wrong. Hear footsteps in the hallway outside and voices of other tenants. Reminds me that we're sitting in a cheap apartment complex, not the upscale bachelor pad I imagined. How long is your lease here? Month to month. Can't really commit to anything long-term right now. Why not? Never know when something might change. Maybe I'll need to move closer to the kids, or find cheaper rent, or... Trails off again, which seems to be a pattern with him. Everything about his life seems temporary and unstable. Not at all the confident, fresh start I assumed divorce would provide. Do you regret it? Getting divorced? He's quiet for a long time, staring at the photo of his kids. I regret that we couldn't make it work, but staying together just to stay together wouldn't have been fair to anyone. But if you could go back, I'd try harder to find a compromise. Maybe I would have moved with her. This admission surprises me because it suggests he actually wanted to save the marriage. Why didn't you? Pride, maybe? Stubbornness? I thought my career was more important than it actually was. Realize he's been more open with me in the last hour than he's been in years. Maybe because he has no one else to talk to about this stuff. Are you seeing a therapist or anything? Can't afford it. Insurance doesn't cover much, and I'm already stretching every dollar. Another reality I hadn't considered. Always assumed people going through divorce had support systems and resources. What about friends? Family? Most of our friends were couple friends. That got weird pretty fast after the divorce. Nod like I understand, but really, I'm just trying to process how isolated he seems. And family ... Family means well, but they don't really get it. Everyone just tells me it'll get better with time. Feel a stab of guilt, because that's exactly the kind of empty platitude I would have offered. Will it get better? I don't know, Sam. I honestly don't know. Check my watch and realize I've been here for over 2 hours. Time seemed to move differently in this depressing little space. Michael notices me checking the time. You probably need to get going. No rush, unless you have somewhere to be. Just another exciting evening of leftover pizza and Netflix. He says it like he's making a joke, but his voice sounds hollow. You could come have dinner with me somewhere. Thanks, but I'm trying to stick to a pretty tight budget these days. Offer to pay, but can tell from his expression that would just make him feel worse. Maybe another time then. Yeah, maybe. Both know we're just being polite. Gather my purse and stand up to leave. Thanks for stopping by, Sam. It was good to see you. You too. Hug him goodbye and notice how thin he feels, like he's been losing weight. Are you eating enough? I'm fine, just busy with work. Don't believe him, but don't push it. Head toward the door, but pause with my hand on the handle. Michael, If you need anything, I know. Thanks. Walk out into the hallway and hear him lock the door behind me. Stand there for a moment listening. Can hear the TV turn on through the thin walls. Some sitcom with a laugh track that sounds forced and artificial in this context. Drive home in complete silence. Don't even turn on the radio because I need time to think. Everything I saw today contradicts months of confident assertions I've been making. Pull into my own driveway and sit in the car for a few minutes. Look at my house with fresh eyes. 2 bedrooms, nice furniture, fully stocked kitchen. Everything Michael used to have and lost. Walk inside and immediately notice how quiet it is. But it's a different kind of quiet than his apartment. This feels peaceful. His felt empty. Check my phone and see several notifications from social media. More people agreeing with my posts about divorce benefiting men. Scroll through the comments feeling sick to my stomach. So true. Men always bounce back faster. They get all the freedom while we're stuck with the kids. Divorce is like a vacation for them. Want to delete all of it, but that would require explaining why. Instead, I just put my phone away and try not to think about it. Spend the evening trying to distract myself with TV and cleaning, but keep thinking about that mattress on the floor, the empty refrigerator, the way Michael's voice sounded when he talked about his kids. Go to bed early, but can't fall asleep. Keep replaying conversations from today. Realize I don't actually know any other divorced men personally. All my opinions came from articles, social media posts, and assumptions. Never bothered to actually ask anyone about their experience. Finally, drift off around 2 a.m., but have restless dreams about empty apartments. Wake up the next morning and immediately check my phone. More notifications from yesterday's posts. Delete the apps without reading them. Get ready for work, but feel distracted and unfocused. Keep thinking about offering to help Michael somehow. But what could I actually do that wouldn't make him feel like charity case? He's a grown man who doesn't want his sister's pity. Arrive at work and try to concentrate on normal tasks. Coworker mentions she's getting divorced and asks if I have any advice. It's complicated, is all I can manage to say. She looks surprised because usually I have strong opinions about everything. I thought you said divorce was great for men. Maybe I was wrong about that. Spend my lunch break researching divorce statistics instead of scrolling social media. Numbers about child support, custody arrangements, depression rates, information I never bothered to look up when I was so sure I already knew everything. Few days pass, and I can't stop thinking about Michael. Decide to text him. How are you doing? Takes him hours to respond. Same as always. Want to grab coffee sometime? Can't really afford coffee shop prices right now. My treat. Thanks, but I'm pretty busy with work. Can tell he's avoiding me, probably embarrassed about how much he revealed the other day. Or maybe he realized how ignorant I've been about his situation. Either way, he clearly doesn't want my company right now. Don't blame him. Weekend arrives, and I find myself driving past his apartment complex. Not planning to stop, just curious. See him loading groceries from his car. 2 small bags that probably cost more than he wanted to spend. He looks tired, even from a distance. Consider stopping to say hello, but decide against it. He needs space, and I need to figure out how to process everything I learned. Drive home and spend Saturday researching divorce support groups, forums where men talk about their experiences, story after story that sounds like variations of Michael's situation. Financial strain, loneliness, limited time with children, depression, isolation, starting over at middle age. How did I miss all of this information when I was so confident in my opinions? Sunday evening, get a call from Mom. Have you talked to your brother lately? Saw him a few days ago. How's he doing? He sounded tired when I called. Don't know how to answer without admitting I was completely wrong about everything. He's adjusting. I worry about him living alone in that little apartment. You've seen it? Helped him move in. Broke my heart, honestly. Realize Mom has known all along how difficult things have been for him. Why didn't you say anything? He asked me not to. Said he didn't want family feeling sorry for him. Feel another wave of guilt for all my confident proclamations. Is there anything we can do to help? Just be supportive. Don't make him feel like a failure. That comment hits close to home because I realize that's exactly what I did, not intentionally, but by assuming his life was so much better now. Monday morning, delete all my social media accounts. Can't stand seeing my old posts about divorce and men's supposed freedom. Coworkers notice I'm quieter than usual. Used to always have opinions about everything. Now I mostly just listen. Someone brings up a news story about custody battles. Everyone looks at me expecting commentary. I don't really know enough about that topic to have an opinion. They seem confused by this uncharacteristic response. But I'm learning the difference between having opinions and having knowledge. Few weeks go by without contact with Michael. Want to reach out, but don't want to intrude. Finally decide to send a simple text. Thinking of you. He responds quickly this time. Thanks. That means a lot. How are the kids? Good. Had them last weekend. Took them to the park. The one from the photo? Different one. Trying to show them new places when I can. Can tell he's making an effort to create positive experiences despite his limitations. That's nice. Yeah, they're great kids. Deserve better than this situation. Don't know how to respond to that level of honesty. You're a good dad, Michael. Trying to be. Conversation ends there, but I feel like we've reconnected slightly. Lying in bed that night, thinking about everything that's changed. Not just my understanding of Michael's situation, but my whole approach to having opinions about things I don't actually understand. Used to feel so confident sharing my thoughts on social media. Correcting other people's perspectives with authority I didn't actually have. Now I mostly just ask questions and listen. It's uncomfortable being uncertain about things, but it's probably more honest than pretending to know everything. Hear a car door slam outside and wonder if it's someone coming home from work. Or someone like Michael, finishing a second job at midnight, realizing how many stories I don't know about the people around me. Finally fall asleep but wake up around 3 a.m. Can't shake the image of Michael lying on that mattress on the floor. In the dark, staring at the ceiling, wondering how he's going to make rent next month. Missing his kids who are sleeping in their beds across town. Get up and write him a long text about how sorry I am. Delete it without sending. Write another one offering to help with groceries or bills. Delete that one too. Settle on something simple. I love you and I'm proud of how hard you're working. Hit send before I can change my mind. Go back to bed but leave my phone on the nightstand in case he responds. Morning comes and no response to my text. Not surprised, since it was sent in the middle of the night. Get ready for work and try to focus on normal routine. But everything feels different now, like I've been walking around with the wrong prescription glasses for months. And finally got ones that let me see clearly. The world looks different when you admit you don't know everything. Harder in some ways, but more real. Drive past a billboard advertising an apartment complex. Live your best life, it says with a picture of young professionals laughing. Wonder how many people are actually living their best life versus how many are just trying to survive day by day. Like Michael loading trucks on weekends to afford his studio apartment. Arrive at work and check my phone. Finally have a response from Michael. Thanks, Sam. Love you too. Short message, but it feels like forgiveness. Maybe not just for the ignorant things I said about divorce, but for taking so long to really see him. Put my phone away and start my workday. Different person than I was a month ago, less certain about everything. but maybe that's not such a bad thing.